Happy to be here with Katie Dahl tonight. Katie's coming to us from Door County, Wisconsin. I, I'm, she may be tired of hearing that, but it's one of your favorite places, right? I mean,
Yeah, I love it.
what's it like in Door County right now?
Well, Door County right now, it just started snowing. It had been like in the 50s, but it just, there's some flurries outside. And it's a little bit busy. I think Door County just to a lot of people who live in cities feels a little bit safer than a city, though we are having a big COVID spike at the moment.
So
So
you're getting the big city people coming out to Door County to get some air type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it seems that way.
yeah.
Can't
Well,
blame them.
yeah, I can't blame them. If Pittsburgh was close to Door County, we'd be up there.
Yeah.
Bit of a hike from where I am. So, but
Yeah, well,
anyway,
what did it be like 15? I don't know. How many hours do you think to drive?
oh, it's probably 10 to Chicago.
Yeah.
Probably another 3 or something up to Door County.
Four or five, depending on what part of Chicago. Yeah.
Long drive. So
Yeah.
worth it, but not on a whim. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so I'm gonna get started with the song, and we're gonna just swap back and forth and chatter a little bit, try and keep it to a dull roar. But I'm gonna do some Midwestern songs. I've written a bunch. It's not all I've written, but first one is from the first album I ever did, and it's called "Hard to Imagine," about a young man wondering if he'll ever leave his small Midwestern town. Of course, the song was written while I was living in central London, subsisting on one meal a day. Hard to imagine. The sun is setting on a Midwestern town. The kids are running home, ice cream in hand. I take a walk among the fireflies, but I'm far too drunk to stand. The planes stretch away in the fading light, in the land of cornfields and the cow. I know that one day I'll be leaving here, though it's hard to imagine that now. The sun is gone now in this Midwestern town. The golf course is dotted with lovers. A Chevrolet goes by with blood in its eye. His daughters go bad like their mothers. The planes stretch away in the fading light, in the land of cornfields and the cow. I know that one day I'll be leaving here, though it's hard to imagine that now. It's such a long way from anywhere, such a long way to go. I've got a fast car, but my mind rolls so slow. The planes stretch away in the fading light, in the land of cornfields and the cow. I know that one day I'll be leaving here, just don't know how. Don't know how. All right.
Yay!
Thank you.
Excellent
Thank you.
song.
Well, clearly, I did leave town, but I'm very fond of my hometown of Beloit, Wisconsin, as well.
Right, and you said, I think you said Rock County. Is that
That's
right?
Rock County.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, there's another song coming up later on about Rock County specifically. So yeah,
Great.
there we go. So what do you got for us?
Well, let's see. I think sing a song about friendship, and it's a Midwestern rural song of friendship. So here we go. This is called Diamonds, and I miss my friends. Maybe everyone has that feeling. Here we go. Living in this little town, most times it suits me fine. I got my radio, I got my rhymes. His big bed and this little town, they've suited me just fine. I get to feeling lonesome in my mind from time to time. But you turn my lonesome into something fine and shining. You turn my stones into diamonds. Diamonds. All them gaggling girls, they get me every time with their gold and their gossip and their wine. That giggling gaggle of girls gets me every time. They make pebbles of my pearls, they turn my dollars into dimes. But you turn my lonesome into something fine and shining. You turn my stones into diamonds. Diamonds. You live beside the waters where the ships and storm clouds sail. I know you've seen the belly of the whale, but you watch those waves roll in, you keep humming through the hail. From your cupola in Nineveh, you guide me through the gale. 'Cause you turn my lonesome into something fine and shining. You turn my stones into diamonds. Diamonds. you.
It is true that no matter where we live, we're living not even in a small town anymore. We're not even in a village. We're living in that cabin at the end of the road, where there's not any phone service. And although we do have this, right?
Right.
This is not that cabin, but it's good to know. It's good that you love the people where you're with, because you don't have much choice in this day and age.
Right. It's very true. Well, and I miss that friend that I wrote that song about. I don't get to, see her or talk to her on the phone, but be glad to see her.
Yeah. Got a lot of friends we looking forward to seeing as well.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do, actually, the next song I'm going to do is a song called Black Earth, and I wrote it about basically the changes to family farms and small towns, when the big farms came in. And the title Black Earth comes from an actual town, which you might know, just outside of Madison, called Black Earth. So here we go. Just past the junction, County 9 and 53. There's a few dusty memories of people who used to be. Church with no steeple, school with no bell. Small town of Black Earth ain't doing so well. The new highway missed it, big farms came in. Young sons and daughters started leaving their kin. Saturday night they went to Bismarck to dance. Grange had no jukebox, they didn't stand a chance. Black Earth's just a bump in the road. It ain't enough to even shift your load. If you try to find it, tell you straight from the start, Black Earth may be just a place in my heart. Got no fire station, there's nothing left to burn. Fred still wears his helmet, he's a little slow to learn. Johnson's left town, couldn't make that store run. Elmer blew his brains out with a 44 gun. Black Earth's just a bump in the road. It ain't enough to even shift your load. If you try to find it, I'll tell you straight from the start, Black Earth may be just a place in my heart. The sun sets on the prairie, beer sign goes on. Fred pumps 20 gallons and he sings a country song. For every truck that stops, this 50 goes right through. Fred says that's the way it is. What's a man to do? Black Earth's just a bump in the road. It ain't enough to even shift your load. If you try to find it, I'll tell you straight from the start, Black Earth may be just a place in my heart.
Yay! I was muted. I unmute myself. I love that. First of all, my husband has a T-shirt that says Black Earth on it because there was a music festival there one time that he played at. I know. Wow. Second, or no, it wasn't a music festival. I think it was a beer. There's a Black Earth Porter. Those are the shirts that my husband has: music and beer. Second of all, I'm working on a song. You know the town Rosendale, Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm.
It's
I've heard the name. I can't say it rings a huge bell. Is it near Black Earth?
It's near Madison.
Near Madison, yeah.
And and they have they're known for their vigorous enforcement of speeding laws, speed limits. And so I'm writing a song about it. My friend used to call it Rosendale instead of Rosendale, so I'm writing a song about Rosendale, which reminds me of that. I don't have that song ready. I'm not playing it tonight. It's a teaser.
All right, that's a teaser. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm writing a song about. I'm writing a musical about. I've been writing it for. This will be my second musical. I'm writing currently my second, third, and fourth musicals all concurrently, and this one is about two sisters. It may see a version of the stage this summer outside, depending on how things happen, but we'll see. This is it's about two sisters whose land is threatened by eminent domain when they decide to put Wisconsin's first state park on their property. So I'm going to sing a song from that one of the sisters sings to the younger sister who's left the family homestead. So it's called The Fisherman's Daughters. Fisherman's daughter, I know waves and wind. I know salt and barrels and tin. I know the ways of the water. I know blades and twine. I always was his rock of Gibraltar. Thank you.
So, do you have like a musical theater troupe
Yeah, there's
in Door County, or yeah?
Yep, it's sort of like where I learned to play guitar and everything. They're sort of a
Oh,
folk-based professional theater company that now does book musicals, and have an outdoor space and an indoor space, and all original musicals generally about the Midwest, which is sort of like an astonishing mission. So
that
it's very
is
cool.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is amazing to have that kind of that kind of community
yeah, I'm
energy
lucky.
and interest, in anything that's vaguely related to what we do. Let's face it,
Yeah,
we are maybe not Broadway yet type of thing.
right.
Coming, coming, coming.
Yet is the important term.
All right. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is a song that I actually wrote in a songwriters workshop with Jonathan Bird. You probably know of Jonathan Bird,
Yep.
and it's the song's called "A Hardened Razor Wire." It's on an album that's actually just coming out. It's called "Looking for the Light," and it's about my generation's war. My generation's war is Vietnam, right? And it's told. This is a song told from the point of view of a Wisconsin farm boy who went to war and came back, and his life as a vet. And of course, Vietnam was the last war with a lottery for the draft, the last war with the draft, and the draft was by lottery, and probably the only lottery ever where if your number came up, you lost. So, anyway, here we go, A Heart in Razor Wire. Life was sweet in Crawford County, though we worked from sun to sun. All my brothers, they were hunters, but I never shot a gun. On the day they drew my number, I went out behind the shed, and I cried like some little baby, thinking I would soon be dead. We were bussed up to Milwaukee, our draft notice in our hands, to find out who would get lucky and escape from Vietnam. Farm boys had no doctor's orders, had no deferments, told when that bus got back to farmland, we were whispering our goodbyes. The first time I heard the mortars and saw the gunships flashing fire, a white terror took my breath away and wrapped my heart in razor wire. Razor wire, razor wire. We fought in the jungle, on the delta, in the rice. The land was never our land, and yet we paid the price. The brothers from the ghetto, from the factories and the farms, we sometimes died in bunches, sometimes in each other's arms. And every time I heard the mortars and saw the gunships flashing fire, that same terror took my breath away and wrapped my heart in razor wire. Razor wire, razor wire. When I came back to Crawford County, no one would look me in the eye. Janie took me out of pity. She would hold me when I'd cry. The cocaine made me jumpy. The junkie made me numb. I lost my place, I lost my grace, and I slept out in the yard. And I still heard the mortars and saw the gunships flashing fire. And that same terror took my breath away and wrapped my heart in razor wire. Razor wire, razor wire. Janie says that she still loves me, but she can't do this no more. The only sound that's worse than gunshots was when I heard her slam the door. Now I go down to the Legion, Pabst Blue Ribbon and a shot. We talk about the hard times, that's what's left, it's all I've got. And at night I hear the mortars, I see the gunships flashing fire. And that same terror takes my breath away and wraps my heart in razor wire. Razor wire, razor wire.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course,
Thank you.
that's not my story. There's a little piece of it's my story. Did get drafted, but I didn't go to Vietnam. So
Did you have you read any Tim O'Brien novels?
yeah,
I just heard him on I've read and loved so many of his novels, which all deal with Vietnam in some way. And I just heard him on Fresh Air. I think he's got a new thing coming out, which I promises to be great. I would assume.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
I'll
really
look it up.
lovely piece. Yeah. Jonathan Bird. Speaking of Jonathan Bird, he is gonna. I have a show every Tuesday called Katie Dahl Has Friends, and Jonathan is gonna be my guest on April 20-something, 13th.
Nice.
20. Wait, yeah. I am a big Jonathan Bird.
Yeah,
fan.
as am I.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll do a song from somebody else's perspective too. Christopher, did I read right that you were a professional baseball player? You were a baseball player? No.
No.
No,
was
I didn't read that right.
Strikeout king in baseball, professional basketball player on the other hand.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
As a matter of fact, there are some people from where I ended my career, which is in Portugal, who will be listening to us right now.
Oh.
They tend to tune in. So
Well, very exciting.
Yeah.
I did not mean to become a sports fan in my life, but then I did accidentally. I was always an English major. I did not think sports were interesting. I thought books were interesting and sports were not. And I have become so into sports as an adult. And so I think I'm going to play a song about, this is, I live near Green Bay, Wisconsin, land of the Packers. It's very hard not to get into the Packers. So this is a song about the Packers. And, about it's written from a perspective it's a fictional guy that I'm writing about, but the love of the Packers is true. So. Okay, here we go. You may or may not know, if you're from Portugal, that Vince Lombardi was the coach of the Packers for a long time. Well, there's a snowstorm on the way tonight, the shanty's on the bay, Leo Free goes out, but I'm not driving anyway. The little house is shining bright in the clean Wisconsin cold. The lights were red and blue and white and green and gold. This morning at the Farm and Fleet, I bought a warmer coat. December came on cold this year, and it isn't letting go. There's heat tonight on these tiny streets, town turning like a wheel, whole city rushing like a river toward the field. This old town is wearing thin, this old town is looking tired. Most days I feel thin and tired too. Not on Sundays, on Lombardy Avenue. My dad left me this little house and his father's gun, and these seats in section 402, row 181. When I feel alone, sometimes I think of him and I, eating hot dogs as we watch those footballs fly. This old town is wearing thin, this old town is looking tired. Most days I feel thin and tired too. Not on Sundays, on Lombardy Avenue. Once a week it's nice to know who the good guys are. Once a week it's nice to feel alive. Once a week it's nice to sit beneath the stars in that big Wisconsin sky. Well, there's a snowstorm on the way tonight. There's shanties on the bay. The Leo Free goes out, but I'm not driving anyway. I'm just walking for a little while on this good old patch of ground. Moon rising up, old curly drift shining down. This old town is wearing thin, this old town is looking tired. Most days I feel thin and tired too. Not on Sundays, on Lombardy Avenue. Not on Sundays, on Lombardy Avenue, yeah.
Yeah, you made some Wisconsinites happy with that.
That's right.
That one. And of course, I was, as a young man, courting my wife meant sitting with TV trays in front of the television, and it was the golden age, of course. You know, speaking of Lombardi and Jim Taylor and Paul Hornung and Fuzzy Thurston and all those guys, you know. So but before I get too carried away, I do live in Steeler land now.
I know, so you must have been real mad for the last 11 years ever since we beat you in the Super Bowl. Must have been real sad.
I think I'm less of a sports fan than you are, although I still am a sports fan at this point. But yeah, that's a wonderful story. And it's great to have something that really your home folks can relate to directly, right? I'm going to do our only brief commercial intermission here and put up a place where you can contribute support the arts, as it were. If you'd like to make a donation to the music this evening, that's the way you can do it for both of us. I believe it's in the description of the streams as well. So, in the meantime, I'm going to go off, kind of off script here and do something. Many of the folks that have heard me before know that I sometimes write and sing in French. And I come by that dishonestly, having lived in France and taught French for many years and so forth. However, the song that I'm going to do is completely unlike anything else that I've ever done. It's in the Celtic tradition. I essentially wrote a fiddle tune and wove an little English story and a French story together between repetitions of the fiddle tune. And it really comes from, the Maritimes in Canada, Quebec, Gaspé, in the Gaspésian Peninsula, which was populated by Normans and Bretons who were very much part of the Celtic tradition, as well as the Scots and Irish, of course. But so this is, it's called A Morning in the Gaspé, un matin au Gaspé. Across the bay, the gannets wheel and spin. The waves climb swiftly up the rocks and then pull back again. The time was once that now is gone, and song was all around. Now we huddle in our huts and tremble at the sound. Belle copine, elle est partie, et mon enfant avec. Elle fait penser au noir corbeau, mon pauvre corbec. Je pleure pas, je suis content d'avoir sauvé mes couilles. Au lieu de me les arracher, elle me les laisse en rouille. The time has come to render what we owe. Come sing with me among the leaves before we taste the snow. So rising up your fiddle bow, the hour it is to dance. We'll play the songs our fathers knew on the far coast of France. Elle n'est pas au bois dormant, elle est dans la ville. Elle m'oublie dans mon tourment, qui me laisse pas tranquille. Mais viendra un beau matin, dans ce père du Gaspé, où je vivrai simplement comme un nouveau-né.
Yay! Bravo!
Yeah, so that's my first ever fiddle tune, and
Awesome.
I got my sister, the fiddle player, to lay down a track on it immediately, of course. But
Well, that's a convenient sister to have.
it sure is.
That's great. And that's your dadgad number. That's
My dadgad
Yeah.
number, exactly. So yeah,
awesome.
I do the album that I just wrote. I have like 5 dadgad songs on it. sort
It's
of
hard to
nuts.
resist.
It is. Yeah.
Alors moi aussi je vais chanter en français.
Incroyable.
Incroyable ça. Yes, I have I too taught. I studied in Mali during college, and then I also taught English in France for a year after college. So
Fabulous.
I wrote a song about like my year in France. I've lived with this woman who was sort of I've taught, but as part of my lodging, I had to take care of this woman's two little girls, and they seemed very adorable the first time I met them, and then never again. They were like horribly behaved, very cute children, and so it was a hard year. But I had my fellow English teachers made it sort of like fun and great. So I wrote this song about them.
Great.
So all right. My friends across the sea feed me the fruits of the water, winter wine and honey from the bee. If I'm feeling faint, they bring me apricots and butter. I've got another home across the sea. My friends across the sea come and meet me at the station, bring me bon courage and bel esprit. If I lose my way, my friends just find me where I'm waiting. I know they will treat me kind across the sea. Si je me perds chez moi, on ne me cherche pas. Si je me perds là-bas, mes amis ne me quittent pas. Friends across the sea take me fishing in the fountain, singing with flamingos in the trees. If my friends catch me when I'm climbing up my mountains, they say you can take your time across the sea. Si je me perds chez moi, on ne me cherche pas. Si je me perds là-bas, mes amis ne me quittent pas. To my friends across the sea, I'm a breakdown by the wayside. I'm a broken boat, drifting fast and free. I just ride that rolling tide. I don't have to walk with pride when I'm beside my friends across the sea. I just ride that rolling tide. I don't have to walk with pride when I'm beside my friends across the sea.
Wow. Who knew? I didn't know, Katie, that you're a francophone as well. I mean, we definitely went international there.
Oui, oui.
We, of course, I was just talking with my wife about the fact that I need to write a couple of songs in Portuguese.
Oh.
Because I still have many friends and even some fans in Portugal, and I remember I found a lyric the other day which is about the big house we had in the center of Lisbon, and it's going to be a song soon, my friends. Os meus
Exciting.
amigos portugueses, exactly. So we'll see. But in the meantime, great to hear that story of France.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to do the Rock County song. So this one, Rock County is where I'm in Beloit. That's in Rock County. Beloit, Janesville. Those are the main towns in that county. And those of you who don't know your Wisconsin counties quite as well, there's a mix of farming and industry. At least there was at one point. And this song is called Rock County Line. It tells the story of immigration to begin, early immigration, and then jumps a couple of generations and tells a more modern story about how life evolved several generations later as it evolved from the early homesteading days. So it's called Rock County Line. All right, let me get myself set up here. All right, Rock County Line. I'm out walking that Rock County line. This was my father's, but it's not mine. Now it's a Walmart and a parking lot. The land is gone, I'm not sure what we got. Ellis Island and the Railway West. I'm Backworth homesteads in a row. Harvest plenty, brought us books and schools. Then the children rose to go. I'll go walking that Rock County line. This was my mother's, but it's not mine. We once were farmers, now we're not. The farms are gone, I'm not sure what we got. Football and cars were my lucky stars. Then GM plant second shift. I hunted, fished, and raised a family. Guess you'd say I got my wish. So I'll go walking that Rock County line. This was my father's, but it's not mine. Now it's a Walmart and a parking lot. The farms are gone, I'm not sure what we got. Now the doctor says I'll soon be gone. It doesn't really matter why. I'm done with night shifts, done with grease and noise. Soon I belong to open skies. So I'm out walking that Rock County line. This was my mother's, but it's not mine. We once were farmers, now we're not. The farms are gone, I'm not sure what we got. I'm out walking that Rock County line. I'm out walking that Rock County line. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's lovely. My friend, we know each other. In case you're watching, we met at a folk conference called Folk Alliance Region Midwest, which we both regularly attend. And do you know Emily White? She's a songwriter from Chicago. She always makes fun of me for using the phrase county line in too many of my songs. And it was the name of my debut album, County Line. And and I do use it in a lot of songs. I think it's a potent image. What can I say?
Totally.
All about the county line.
Yeah.
So I think I'll do my song called County Line, because,
Excellent.
why not? All right, here we go. So I live in Door County, which is the northeast corner of here's of Wisconsin. Here's Wisconsin. I'm not sure how I should have it. Anyway, it's this peninsula that sticks out into Lake Michigan, and I have roots going back here for a long, long way, and then my grandma moved away, and so she was born here, and then she moved away, and I think I wrote this song for my uncle, who I think always wished he could live here. I feel lucky to live here myself. So this is from his perspective, and it's called County Line. My mother left her cherry orchard home the day that she turned 18 years old. I hear she grew up with nimble fingers, a piano player and a cherry picker, sifting through the trees for bright red gold. But that day she left to seek her fortune, across that county line, moved on down the road. She says there's no line quite as thin as that county line, no sin, just like leaving all behind, the land of cherry trees and pine for. Baby, in my mind I'm always looking back to find that I'm a pillar of white salt beyond that line. She was a pastor's wife, I am his son. It took us far from my mother's county line. We crossed state lines like criminals, moving boxes full of old hymnals. Glanced back at all the sin we left behind. And when summer came, my mother brought us back again. There I found the only home I'll ever find. 'Cause there's no line quite as thin as that county line, no sin, just like leaving all behind, the land of cherry trees and pine for. Mama, in my mind I'm always looking back to find that I'm a pillar of white salt beyond that line. It's hard to believe now my mother has been 10 years gone. It's hard to believe I've got a pulpit of my own. It's hard to believe my mother's cherry trees are growing toward the sun. And I feel so far down and miles away from home. Now I count the days like a blind man, counting steps on the way back to his chair. Some days I wish I could go back again, show my wife and kids where I really am, pick some cherries, send my mom a little prayer. And the first thing I would say to her is, how'd you ever tear yourself away from there? When there's no line quite as thin as that county line, no sin, just like leaving all
continual tension between local and not,
Yeah.
and being from a place and of a place, and yeah, and I still feel like if I'm of anywhere, it's still Rock County, even though I was born on the West Coast, but I was just a little kid there, and formative years were in Rock County, and when I go back there, I get that kind of. But on the other hand, I get that when I go to Lisbon and when I go to Paris, so it's a little scattered, you know what I mean? So
Well, that's a gift to have so many places that feel like homes.
yeah, it is, and people from many of those, and Boston, and Cambridge and so forth, and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's has been our home for a long, long time now, so we feel very much at home here. All right, so my last song, and Katie has another one coming too, but and thank you all for coming and listening and being nice, and feel free to do things like, share, subscribe, all those sorts of things that one does in this space, and you can find Katie Dahl at katiedahlmusic.com and christophermarkjones.com if you are so inclined as to do things like buy recordings. It's still possible to do that. In the meantime, what I'm going to do here is a song called A Question of Style, which goes way back, and it's one that grew out of a song that grew out of the small river town where my grandparents lived in North Dakota, and where I spent time as a child. The river morphed a little bit in the songwriting process. It changed from the Cheyenne River to the Mississippi, but the childhood lessons are the same nevertheless. We don't have to lose them in the process. So, A Question of Style. There's a boy down by the river catching catfish in the shade. He's too young to care about the mistakes he has made. Hot dust rising from the road along the shore. You got to eat the apple first to find the core. Yes, you do. And the Mississippi River is wide. Takes its sweet time to decide to roll on or to stop here for a while. 'Cause some things have got to be. It's gonna make it to the sea. The rest is just a question of style. Trucks up on the highway, rolling across the plain, full of destinations, full of oil and sacks of grain. They roll across the bridge up above where the Mississippi flows. They think they're leaving her behind, but the river knows. Yes, it does. And the Mississippi River is wide. Takes its sweet time to decide to roll on or to stop here for a while. 'Cause some things have got to be. It's gonna make it to the sea. The rest is just a question of style. My mama's son and your daddy's daughter's like Mississippi mud and Mississippi water. Now the boy's sipping Coca-Cola, waiting for the fish to bite. He's not worried about the time, 'cause he's fishing right. Yes, he is, and the Mississippi River is wide. Takes its sweet time to decide to roll on or to stop here for a while. 'Cause some things have got to be. It's gonna make it to the sea. The rest is just a question of style. The rest is just a question of style. The rest is just a question of style.
Woo!
Yeah, rock
Love it.
on.
Rock on. Great.
All right.
Well, I think I grew up in Minnesota. I did not grow up in Wisconsin, and I was born in Colorado, so I know of what you speak to. Whatever. I've lived a lot of places, but I think that if for those of you who don't live in the United States, you might be like, Minnesota and Wisconsin are two states that are right next to each other, and you would think in your mind, you would think those are probably very much the same, but really they're super different places. And whenever I go back to Minnesota, which is where I grew up, I feel sort of like, safe, like they will take care of me in Minnesota, which is ludicrous. They will take care of me in Wisconsin also, or they won't, or whatever. It's not very different, but in my heart I feel that it is. So this is a song that also has the Mississippi in it. I always used to think that the Mississippi was the dividing line between Wisconsin and Minnesota. It is not. It does start in Minnesota, but St. Croix River is the dividing line. So this is a song called "Oh Minnesota," and I guess this is our last one, huh?
Yep.
Alas.
We can chat a little bit at the end, but this is the last song, yeah.
All right. Oh, Minnesota, I was born on your highways, crossed through your skyways, watched the nice Mississippi roll. I am your prodigal daughter, swam your 10,000 waters, spent all your shiny quarters at a bar in Sevastopol. Oh, Minnesota, you are my beginner's luck. Yeah, your hockey pucks and potlucks, gray ducks and purple rain. The night on Lake Nokomis when I kissed her in the snow. You're the streetlight glow I can see from the airplane. And I keep an agate in my pocket and a jacket in my car. Minnesota, call me back if I stray too far. Hey, oh Minnesota, I've tracked salt into your halls, in the corners of your malls. You've held me while I cried when I wore the wrong clothes, when the other kids didn't know me, when I left my shoes at home, had to wear my muddy boots inside. And I keep an agate in my pocket and a jacket in my car. Minnesota, call me back if I stray too far. Hey, hey. Oh, Minnesota, I am your fickle lover. I wear holes in all your gloves. I unravel all the yarn. When the air turns bitter, when my voice starts to quiver, I drive right across that river, straight into into your arms. And I keep an agate in my pocket and a jacket in my car. Minnesota, call me back if I stray too far. Hey, yeah, oh, Minnesota, you are my oldest friend. When I start to bend, I think it's you that keeps me strong. Something in your sweaters and your sensible shoes. It says it's me you choose. That you're the place where I belong. Yeah, it says it's me you choose. That you're the place where I belong.
All right. I know we have, just to close out, those of you who are listening, I know we've got some Wisconsinites. Minnesotans, I don't know, but I know we've got a Pittsburgher who is a Minnesotan who's listening. We've got people from Pittsburgh, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, the UK, Portugal, Mexico. So we got some a pretty nice spread there for a humble live stream, two songwriters, and I'm thankful, Katie, for having done this, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And who knows what the next one will be, but we're not going anywhere. That's for
Right.
sure.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm grateful.
Yeah, no, it was great fun. Thanks to everybody for coming, and if you'd once again, if you'd like to contribute, please do at that address. Much appreciated, and Katie and I will see you either separately or some undefined future on the same stage. And stay safe and stay well. Good night, everybody.